Hi hamster lovers and welcome to Pancake's channel. This week I'm going to be reacting to getting a hamster videos on TikTok. So here is the first video.
Bought a hamster and I'm not even halfway home. And it's already chewed its way out of this one and now this one. She is a wild one, just like her mama.
Some hamsters are wild ones, so it can be a good idea to transport them in a plastic carrier instead of a cardboard box. That way the hamster won't be able to escape and they won't get lost in your car. Now for the next video. First of all, I'd like to point out that it's important to set up your hamster's cage before you get them. This will help minimise stress. It's also important that Syrian hamsters have a minimum of an 11-inch wheel. If the wheel is too small, then this can lead to back problems. This hamster also chewed through the box. It's also not recommended to use sawdust, as this can cause respiratory infections as it's too dusty. As it is also unlabelled, it could be made of an unsafe type of wood. The cage also looks like it's too small and it doesn't have enough enrichment. The biggest tip I could give to prevent people from making the same mistake that they did in the video is to not only research before you get a hamster, but to also get all of the supplies before you get them. This will mean that you can take more time choosing products that are good for the hamster, and it will also mean that you save more money in the long run as you won't have to replace everything. Here is the next video. This tank looks a bit like a 20-gallon tank, which is too small, but they are using a safe type of bedding, which is good. The bedding is also not deep enough, as hamsters need at least 6 inches of bedding to burrow. The wheel is also too small even for a dwarf hamster. As I said before, this will cause back problems. The food that they're feeding is also not very varied, as it is pellets. It would be better to have natural wood for your hamster to chew. I wouldn't recommend giving them those Timothy hay treats. This is because hamsters don't need hay in their diet. Hamster balls are also not safe, and that one is definitely too small. At the very least, the hamster would also need another hideout and a sand bath. On a more positive note, here is the next video. They're setting up a bin cage for their new hamster. Bin cages can be a good option for people who are on a budget. It's also great that they have 8 inches of safe bedding and an 11-inch wheel. In the comments, loads of people were talking about how you shouldn't have so much bedding in a hamster enclosure as they could drown in it. This isn't true, as they can't drown in bedding as it's not water. Deep bedding is actually very beneficial as it's very enriching and it's what they do in the wild. I like that they've added a sand bath and ceramic hideouts. These are great especially if you live in hot climates. The 11-inch rodent wheel is also great, as well as the water bowls. I would recommend adding some more enrichment to this enclosure, such as forage. This can be scattered around the cage. Sprays, platforms and different substrates are also excellent forms of enrichment. Foraging toys are also very enriching. Here is the next video by the Hamster Station. This is a video of them setting up their paw hut enclosure. This is a good enclosure as it's quite large. They definitely set up the enclosure in quite a different way. I like that they have a large sand bath as well as beach chips and cocoa coir, which are different substrates which are enriching. They're also using a safe type of bedding, which is good. This type of bedding also holds burrows very nicely. The cork log is a nice touch, and so is the multi-chamber hideout. I really like all of the different hideouts that they've added, and the birch tunnel is very cool. Instead of using a seagrass mat underneath the wheel, I'd recommend using a platform. That way if the hamster decided to burrow underneath it, it wouldn't collapse and squash them. All of the ceramic hideouts they added are so cute. They're also using a good sized wheel, and I like the bamboo root. The different variety of sprays will help enrich their natural foraging behaviours. They're also using forage, which is excellent. It's really nice to see videos like these on TikTok which promote proper hamster care. This is the finished enclosure. Here is the next video. Please never get a pet and bring it back to a house that you don't own. This won't end well, as if they find out that you've gotten the pet, they could make you get rid of it. Your parents may also not want to pay for the animal since you got it without them knowing. And if you're a kid who decides to do this but you don't have enough money to look after the animal properly, then that pet might end up being neglected as it can't get all of the stuff that it needs. Here is the final video that I'll be reacting to today. So firstly, they say they're going to impulsively buy a hamster. It's never a good idea to get a pet impulsively as you won't be able to look after them properly. So they got a travel cage and some stuff for the hamster. Travel cages are meant to be temporary for transporting the hamster, not as a permanent enclosure. The cage doesn't even have any bedding, it just has fabric in it. Fabric isn't good to have in a hamster cage as it's dangerous if it's chewed. Why would you take the hamster to a dessert shop? It's very important to take the hamster straight home after picking them up. This will help minimise stress. Surely in a shop they'd have to experience so many new smells and sounds. That would be very stressful and stress can make them sick. That's the end of this week's video, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. See you next week, bye!